Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah, amma ba'd. Good evening and welcome. Reactionary is online. Hope everyone's okay. Just thought I'd come online and give greetings to everybody. Bit bored, nothing going on. Just want to hang out. Already we've got some people in the chat. Nice to meet you all. Except for Pakistani atheist, because I saw what you were saying about me on the chat. On who was it? Raj? Yeah, on Raj's channel. Don't think I didn't see that Pakistani atheist. I thought you and me were cool. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Jordan M. Wa alaikum salam, brother. How you doing? Khorasani Yoon. You done no, fam. Wagwan. All right. Who else is there? Somebody called Rebel Mode or Rebel minus space mode. Rich Pagan LK. And get this Murtad out of here. Who's the Murtad, Khorasani Yoon? Which one are you talking about? I'll see if I can get the Hangout link for the mobile. I've got it for the PC, but the mobile one doesn't seem to be coming up. Oh, there we go. Share link. Give me a sec. I'll just get it for you. There we go. Come on, send. So, what's I say? Pakistani atheist says, because I gave you a hard time on your show. Did I gave you a hard time? Are you kidding? Dear me. I thought I was welcoming to you and kind. You call that giving you a hard time? Oh dear. Oh well. Let me just check if I got my mail now with the Hangout link. Yes. I'm about to copy it and paste it. So there's copy and paste. All right, guys, get ready. Here comes the link. Bang. Khorsani says, Rebel mode says it's not a minus. What is it then, Rebel mode? It's a hyphen. Khorasaniyun, the atheist who disbelieved in Allah after believing in him. Subhanallah. That's no joke, you know. Rich Pagan LK says, Rebel mode, I don't find Assains talking patois. When they mad funny, it makes it seem like black people are agtessors. Who's a murtad? JK says, Salam. Salam to you, JK. How are you? Pakistani atheist says, reactionary, you said Grey Dunya destroyed me, LOL. Yeah. Do you think he destroyed you? Rich Pagan LK. But that doesn't mean I called you an extremist or anything like that, like you did with me. You tried to say, oh, this guy's an extremist. This reactionary, he's an extremist, says Pakistani atheist to everybody else. Rich Pagan LK. Jordan M. You okay after that bullying I gave you? LOL. Jordan M, did you get bullied by Rich Pagan? Don't tell me that he bullied you, bro. We'll have to come to your defense. We have to defend the brothers, man. Yeah, so the Hangout's live. Jump in. Who else we got? I only came on to make friends, says Pakistani atheist. It's a hyphen, says Rebel Mode. Reading the book on atheism at the moment. Most atheists have gone through some kind of trauma, apparently. You know, there's a really good video about, or I don't know if it's a movie, a documentary about atheism. I'll try and get the name of it for you, but it's this American guy. He goes around campuses and interviews people, asking them questions about atheism. What was it called? Let me see if I can find it. The God. No. Atheist questions. I have to find it another time. It might take me a while. There's still one. Anyway, what have I missed here? Sorry, guys. Reactionary, you know what I meant. Okay. Rich, throw your bang. I'm good. You? JK, big up. Big up. There's the hangout, the mobile. Atheists are poisson, fish, or poison. Rebel mode, Sia, hop on the panel. It says Islam 101. Sia, hop on. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and peace to the rest, says Walid Isak. Big up, Walid. Nice to see you, brother. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Who else is there? Khorasani Yun says, Pakistani atheist says, if I said that about Islam, I would be kicked, banned for life from this channel. That's why you're a mod, Pakistani atheists. Why are you a mod and Jordan M isn't a mod? Should I make Jordan M a mod? That doesn't seem fair that he's left out. Let me add Jordan M. There you go. Jordan M is now a moderator for your channel, it says. Kilowatt says, rebel mode, see ya later. Dude, Sia is not here. Oh, what? I'm just figuring it out. You guys are trying to tell me that rebel mode is Sia. Gosh. Sia live. You need diversity. Diversity. All right, now, where's that video I was trying to find on atheism? Pakistani atheist, you're saying, I do not go aught of my way to offend, unlike. All right, here is the video. What was it called, though? Somebody's uploaded a clip from the movie without telling us the name of the movie. All right, but anyway, check out this video, Jordan M. Really good stuff. Really good questions to ask the atheists, nutcases, as they're known. All right. I do not go out of my way to offend, unlike Khorasaniyun. Islam 101. Her only fan is herself. People backbiting the sister. But Jordan M is not about backbiting the sister. It's about people have realized when poison is in their midst. Okay, good evening, guys. Mod me, says Pagan Rich LK. All right. I'll give you a temporary modship, Rich LK. Temporary modship. But the rules are no abuse of the mod powers. No blocking and no kicking and no timing out. Okay. Walid Isak, likewise reactionary. Alaikum forward. Okay. Alaikum people. What's good? Reactionary. What's the topic? Islamophobe TV. Yeah. How you doing? Sorry, I just thought I'd come online. Islamophobe TV. Just hang out with people. There's no particular topic. If there's something anybody wants to talk about, you're welcome to come on. And any questions for me? Come on. Throw your bang, as Jordan M says. You're likely a kufra-phobe reactionary. Yeah. But no, mine's not an irrational fear, sadly. It's not even a fear. It's just a observation of fact, a recognition of reality. Don't tell me Johan Van Dam is here. Johan Van Dam, how can you not be a mod? And what's his name is a mod? How can Rich Pagan be a mod and you're not a mod? That makes no sense. I'll have to speak to my mod administration team. Sana B is in the house. She said she's a mod and she wasn't aware. Oh, okay. I'll unmod you then, sister. Sorry about that. Remove moderator. So Sana B is no longer a mod. Okay. Who else is there? Johan Van Dam says it's my birthday. Allahu Akbar. Congratulations, Johan Van Dam. Not that we celebrate birthdays. Just thought I'd say that just because you might get upset if I don't say it. Anyway, let's just leave that out the window. If atheism was eradicated from the face of the earth, I will make a prostration of gratitude, says Khurasaniyun. Oh, that reminds me. I better demod Abu Mujahid because he's the extremist moderator, should I say. Like, he goes over the top with mod powers. Sorry, Khorasaniyun, had to unmod you because you've already taken action against Sanabi. Big up reactionary. Thanks, says Rich Pagan. It's a mod thing. Please don't make me time you out. No racism. Hey, Rich Pagan. No one's allowed to touch Johan Van Dam except for Kilowatt. Kilowatt's the only person allowed to play with Johan. Yeah, he's under my care, says Johan. Hey, who's that? Did someone just join? I thought somebody just joined the hangout. Looks like they've gone. Rich Mashrik. Rich LK, is what's everyone saying? You're not a Muslim. What's going on? Abu Mujahid is extreme in many ways, says Pakistani atheist. Pakistani atheist, you're the extremist, mate. You're Pakistani. Pakistanis are extremists, aren't they? Who's that? Who's just joined the panel? I think somebody joins. Nope. Oh yeah, there we go. Somebody's in the panel. Who is that? Identify yourself. Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Who is that?
JK. Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, alaikum salam, JK. How you doing, bro?
I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Good, thanks. How's everything?
Do you mind if I jump on? Oh.
I'm not sure, bruv. It depends. Shall I go and ask permission from a particular famous YouTube celebrity?
Who? PewDiePie?
No, don't worry. No, ignore me. Of course, you're welcome on the channel, bruv. You're welcome on the channel.
Nice.
Who else? Okay. I thought someone else joined the panel as well. Okay, no, they didn't. So, what did I miss? Pakistani atheist says you should not label a whole nation of people as extremists. So you're telling me Pakistanis are not extremists? Is that what you're saying, Pakistani atheist? Kilowatt says, Johan, can we make a truce? Oh, the hand of friendship is being stretched by, what's his name? Kilowatt. That's unbelievable. We have someone in the panel called Ibn Taymiyyah. Ibn Taymiyyah, identify yourself. Who's that whistling?
It's a troll.
Oh, okay. Shall we boot him?
Yes.
Okay. Ibn Taymiyyah, you're out. Out of here. Get out. Come back if you want. Try to, anyway. Jordan M says, I'm a proud extremist. So you're a proud Pakistani, Jordan M? Is that what you're trying to say? All right. I shouldn't say that. That's a bit. All right. I'll stop saying Pakistan. I'll stop picking on Pakistan. Who we got now? Brother Abdul in the house. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Zahra Ali, still the only non-mod in the panel. Sorry, in the chat. Should I make her mod? Yes, might as well. She's been loyal for a while. There we go. Everyone's a mod now. Anybody that's not a mod, you can send your applications to Kilowatt. All right, what should we talk about, JK? What's the news?
News. I've been keeping up with things, to be honest. I've just been busy in the day. What about you?
Yeah, no, I haven't been following the news at all either. Might check it out. But I did see, there's a comment there from Johan Van Dam. He says, Big up man like Jordan M for sticking it on Raj, even though Grey Dunya was barking in his ear like a joker, annoyingly.
I didn't see that conversation. I did see the thumbnail, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I actually watched it over 3 periods of like 10 minutes or something. That's pretty
Was
good.
it that long?
Not sure. How long was it, Jordan M? It wasn't an hour, but it was maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes. That's pretty good. Jordan M looked really cold. I don't think he knows. You can buy this thing that you can wrap around your neck, Jordan. It's called a scarf, and it helps you keep warm in the cold weather. I'll see if I can get you one, inshallah. But I have to say, Jordan M, you did well, man. You did well. You represented the ting on a next level, as they say. Whoever thinks Jordan M did a good job, type 1 in the chat. If you think he needs a bit of extra practice, type 2. Come on, we're the ones. Come on. Jordan M has now become a Saudi after being there for like 5 days. How long were you there? 5 days, 10 days? Jordan M put a 2.
Did you have you been keeping up with the videos of the yellow vests in France?
No, tell me what's going on with that.
I've just seen some of the conflicts between the protesters and the police. It's getting pretty brutal. Like there was one video today I saw on Twitter, and one of the protesters had his head face down towards the floor, and the policeman or anti-riot police just kneed him in the back of his head, breaking his nose. He hit with the ground. It's sort of like American History X.
Wow.
And it's brutal. And one guy got his hand torn off.
Torn off?
Yeah. Well, I didn't actually see it, but like that's what the video was titled, and people were commenting in shock. So I just guessed it was true.
Blown off or torn off?
It said torn off on Twitter.
Okay, let's see. Yellow vest protester has hand partially blown off in Paris.
Oh, did you see that?
Whoa. Let me share my screen so people can.
Yeah, it's gone crazy. It's going crazy.
Mutting.
And now that there's interfighting as well. Infighting amongst the yellow vest protesters, the right versus the left wing. In this country, it's mainly seems to be a right wing movement, doesn't it?
What in the UK?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, pretty much. It's mostly the Tommy Robinson group, isn't it? Tommy Robinson.
Yeah, James Goddard and them.
Yeah.
But
the cult of Tommy.
Just a working class. He had sort of expose on the BBC recently. That apparently I haven't watched it.
The cult of Tommy. Oh, this panorama thing. Okay, yeah. What have I missed? Shahid says, can I have the link? Okay. Rebel Mode says, reactionary, are you streaming this while still on your marathon run from the other night? Yeah, it's good to multitask, Rebel Mode.
People are not letting that go.
It's no big thing. It's nothing embarrassing. It's just fun. Khorasani Yoon, there is no place for disbelief in a Muslim land. There is no place for disbelief on a Muslim channel. Okay. What else we got? Yeah. Oh, who's that? Is that somebody's joined the panel? Identify yourself. Hello. Yep. Somebody else.
Salam.
Alaikum salam, Islamophobe. How you doing, brother?
Alhamdulillah. You okay, brother?
Yeah, man. Nice to see you. Good job filming on Sunday.
Yeah, no problem, bro. No problem.
You could tell it was really cold for you, but you stuck in there.
Yeah, near the end. I think you lot talking about Jordan as well was cold. Yeah, it was cold evening, and it came near the end. So yeah, in the daytime was alright because.
Hey, what happened? You had a video titled something about Bob the Builder Lion. But I tried watching it, but it was a bit long. So can you tell us what that was about? What happened?
Basically, he was speaking to a brother called Adnan, and he
Yeah.
was quoting a few things, I think, from the Hadith or something like that. No, exactly. I need to go back and really watch it again. It was a bit of a commotion, but yeah, he was caught. He was caught like lying a few times, and then later on, if you watch my, I think the last stream, basically he says that, yeah, I've made a mistake and stuff like that. I need to go and home and, you know, do more research and stuff like that. So basically, what he's written in the Quran and what he's tried to research is wrong, because when brother Adnan did his check on his phone, it turned out to be whatever he was claiming. I can't exactly remember, but he was caught out. And there's a few other channels.
He was misquoting.
Yeah, I need to go back exactly. Okay. Yeah, to thing. I was just I was somewhere else as well. So anyway, well, yeah, go ahead.
All right. So who else has joined? Shahid Patan Rola. Hello. You need to unmute yourself.
Yo, assalamu alaikum, reactionary.
Alaikum salam. How's it going, Shahid Patan Rola?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Everything good with you?
Everything good, man. I'm just doing some stuff right now at the moment. But yeah, I'm all good, reactionary. I'm all good, man.
Nice one. Yeah, man.
So what are you up to, reactionary?
Nothing much. Just thought I'd come and hang out for a few minutes before I go to bed.
Say no more. Same.
Catch up on the news. What's new in the online speakers corner? Part of the internet. Anything new? What have I missed?
I don't know. To be honest.
I heard you shouting at Omar on Raspet's channel the other night.
Oh yeah, I did go a bit crazy. Whatchamacallit? The guy was slandering my dead mum, fam. So it's like one of those things, isn't it?
Oh yeah, can't be doing that.
That's why I went off on him, because like if someone slanders my dead mum, sometimes I can't control my anger, innit? So
yeah,
it's one of those ones still.
So Jordan M says the discussion was about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam having black slaves. Have you noticed this recent trend at the park amongst the Christians? They're trying to push an agenda that Islam is somehow a racist religion. Has anybody else noticed that? They're trying to say that
I've been noticing
black people are oppressed in Islam. They're trying to cause some sort of split.
Yeah, they've been trying to portray this way that Islam is racist, but they don't even understand the context and stuff like this.
Yeah. All right. Now, I've been neglecting the comments, sadly. Let me get back to it. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, the panel.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Waleed, how you doing?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah, my brother. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, bro. Nice to hear from you.
Likewise.
Yeah, let me just read a couple of these comments. Sana B says, Zahra, I actually liked it a lot. The brothers made it easier for me. I was nervous at first. Are you talking about last night's Muslim Matters, Sana B? My son used Don't Address Me. Shahid loves cat. Rajesh, I won't read that. Zahra Ali says, Sana, you did great. Keep it up. Keep me out. LOL. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we were just saying, Waleed, have you noticed at the park, there's this trend among some of the Christians there to try and portray Islam as a racist religion towards black people?
No, my brother, I haven't, but it wouldn't surprise me. After all, they try to go for low blows as always, and that's Christianity for you. Because Islam, we all know Islam is beyond colors. That's why you have people from all colors, all race, basically, are Muslim, innit?
Yeah.
And I'm sure if it was racist, no black people be joining Islam. That's a fact.
Tell me something. So Shahid's on the chat as well. I remember after he was on the chat, you were speaking to Big Odds on Raspet's panel that night. What was your discussion with him about? Because it got a bit carried away with the shouting. But what was your point?
Yeah, sorry. First and foremost, I've got to apologize the way I said publicly to my brother, Big Al's, and hopefully personally when I get to see him. It's all bad. The way he said it, basically, I should have tried to exhaust at least peaceful way first of getting my point across and expose. We know as a Muslim, you should not expose your brother and whatnot. But I did a certain few times, yeah, where I've listened to Big Al's show and all of that. I've said what a good guy he is and everything, praised him. But I did say I have one issue with him, but I'll discuss that personally when I get to see him. But it's a great shame that it happened the way it happened, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right,
what I meant by that was my brother.
Without mentioning him, what's the issue? What was the concern?
Yeah, now the issue is, what was I gonna say? Once me and Big Al was in G Circle next to each other. That was the first time I ever seen him. And then looking at Speaker's Corner things, basically. 1 second, family members are saying bye to me. I come back, my brother. Okay, nice. Okay, they're gone. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, having watched those videos. Yeah, there was a video that I seen. Yeah, Big Az and Raj, and basically Big Az was really angry at Raj to a point where he almost got himself arrested as the police had to intervene and whatnot. Yeah, all over Pakistan. So for me, seeing that video, I was like, whoa, is this the guy that I've seen over there? How passionate he is regarding like his country, innit? But yeah, Raj did not only disrespect his country, disrespect Islam, number one, way before even mentioning Pakistan and all of that. So I didn't see like how this guy is willing to fight another guy based on his country, but overseeing the biggest factor, him attacking Allah and his messenger and Islam way of life. I just thought, you know what? If this guy was really and truly Muslim the way Muslims should be, number one, you should love first is Allah and his messenger beyond your country. That was just my point. But the way I said it should have never been addressed in public, and that's why I said I apologize to my brother publicly. He's right. I should have never said certain things in public. I should have addressed it personally with him in it.
Yeah. Okay. But the issue that caused you concern is that somebody has, I guess, a sense of honor towards their country, more so perhaps than their religion. That's the thing you're talking about. Yeah?
Yes, exactly.
Without talking about any individual. Well, we're just talking about in a general sense. It could apply to anybody.
As a Muslim, we know basically our number one aim should be to please Allah and His Messenger, even more than ourselves. So therefore, even more than our country too. So it's in general again, yeah.
Okay. إنما المؤمنون إخوة. You know what that means? It's an ayah from the Quran. Allah said, إنما المؤمنون إخوة. The believers are but brothers to one another. So brotherhood can only be between believers. Yeah.
100%. And I'm not gonna lie, you see, those kind of things, it's not only he's guilty of. I was guilty of certain things in the past myself. I was like pro-nationalist, pro-Somali, might as well say, proud Somali. But then I realized that's my sins, my mistakes, and right now I'm just trying to change those things, basically. Yeah, could say that, yeah.
That's a very good point. Everybody has a sense of sort of brotherhood towards a particular, I guess, their nation, as it's been defined for them by, like the Prophet ﷺ. He was an Arab and he was from Quraysh, right? Yet he didn't consider them his brothers, did he? His brothers were the believers. Like when he met Salman al-Farisi, he says, Salman minna. He is from us, even though he wasn't Arab. Yeah, I think this is a little bit of a problem, this sense of nationality. If you're looking at Pakistan as an example, that country didn't exist over 100 years ago, did it? It's a relatively new concept. Well, I'm not sure how old it is now, but it didn't.
1947.
1947, yeah. So if you go back 100 years, it didn't exist.
Yep.
So prior to 100 years, nobody was proud to be Pakistani.
Exactly.
And I guess it applies to many other countries too.
Well, I was going to say this problem, basically, us Muslims got this problem ourselves. What does not help is what outside influences. Like now in the West, what do you hear? Are you Muslim first or are you Britain first? Are you Muslim first or are you American first? You see it? So therefore, it's also other part plays with it. And majority Muslim, may not even know how to answer that. How many says that I'm British first, or yeah, I'm British first and then Muslim, or British Muslim? So you still putting British first above Muslim. You see it?
You're right. You know, on Friday, I went on. I was I was invited very kindly by Raj onto Manny Sinder's show, and one of the first questions they asked me is, what's your sense of priority? Is it being Muslim, British, or I can't remember the third one. Muslim, British, or another one. There was three options.
It's country, family, or religion.
Country, family, or religion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but would an Irish or a Scots person going on the chat be asked the same question? Would a Christian person be asked the same question? Is it only Muslims that get asked that?
100%. I've actually realized that it only applies to Muslim when they ask you, are you Muslim first or are you British first? I've seen it apply to Muslim. I ain't seen no Christian getting asked, are you Christian first or are you British first? Or even Hindus, are you Hindu first or British first? It only applies to Muslim, and this is the hypocrisy that we're talking about. And a lot of Muslims actually are not aware of this.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty common. I mean, I've worked with quite a few Indians, and nearly all of them are, nearly all of the Hindus I've worked with are Indian first. But that doesn't mean all of them are. It's just the ones that I've met. I guess the question is, but to be fair, you do see that many Muslims are nationality first. They are their country first. I've seen it amongst Pakistanis, Bengalis, what other nationalities? Quite a few of the nationalities that are out there that I've come across amongst Muslims, they are their country first. That's their priority. Even over their religion, I don't know. Every Muslim will always say Islam first. But a close second is their nationality.
You are right, but sometimes, the action speaks louder than words, because some people, the way I said, are willing to die for their country, willing to say all sorts for their country, but yet remain silent when Islam is under attack.
You're right. And another one is Jordan M just mentioned Somali as well. I had a confrontation online with a couple of Somalis, and like they were making takfir of all these Muslim rulers. And the one country they avoided making takfir of, do you know which one it was? Somalia. I was like, okay.
I'm not gonna lie. As a Somalian, I can literally get up and say, as a Somalia, we're also very nationalist, national. But alhamdulillah, some of my brothers and sisters are beginning to wake up now, and realize that being a nationalist bring big problems actually. Because in Somalia, the biggest problem we suffered being nationalist is tribal as well, which comes part of being nationalist. You see it, and the actual war that happened in Somalia is to do with tribes. And Somalia, as we know, used to be 100% Muslim. But because of tribal wars now, we came over the West, the some that are leaving Islam. Over what? Being a nationalist, being a tribalist, all that don't help. They are the things that actually causes fitna amongst the brothers actually and sisters.
Qabil wars.
Where's that? Qabila wars in Somalia. Is that what's happening right now?
They have a lot of tribal wars and problems. And even like young teenage Somalis have this sort of strong allegiance to their qabil, their tribe, and they call it. I got kind of introduced to it when I was a teenager, when I first met a lot of Somali people, and it's quite interesting because I don't see it with other people that much. I've seen it with Yemenis a bit, but they're also very, very conservative people. So
now, if you do see racism in Islam, right? Is it because of Islam or in spite of it?
See, exactly. Like, Raj was saying the other day, and I didn't really get to confront him on this, but because the topic got changed. But he was like, in Saudi Arabia, there's a lot of racism, and many Saudi people are racist. Now, that can be debated, but let's just say that's true. Is that because of the religion? Can we say that? And I don't think we can. And the thing is, it's sometimes good to give a different example. so people can understand, because when people talk about Islam, their mind goes into a weird mode. So we can say that every country in South America is Catholic, and they were colonized by the Christians. They weren't originally Catholic. Is that because of Christianity, or is that because they were not following their religion properly, and therefore conquering these lands and killing people? And the answer to that is it's not preached in Christianity, and it's an action that goes against their religion. And when it comes to racism in Islam, I think it's the same thing. Many Muslims can be racist, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's dictated in the religion. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. One sec. Raj's Huge Turban has asked a question, Waleed. Are you somebody called Ark Sako? Did you have a channel called Ark Sako?
Me?
You reckon? No, Waleed Isak.
Oh.
Waleed. You still there, bruv? Okay, when he comes back. So yeah, but also tell me what. All right, so we know in Islam there is the final sermon of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, when he said no, black is greater than white, and white is better than black, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Ajam and Arab, and everyone's equal when with regards to race.
Yeah. So let's find this.
Yeah.
Just gonna look for it now.
What is it called in Arabic? The final sermon.
The
title of the event. I never actually heard of it.
I know it's in Hajjat al-Wada', like the farewell Hajj, but it would be, you call it the Khutbat al-Wada', the farewell.
Oh yeah. I just
sermon.
found it. Found it on Wikipedia. Probably not the best source, but still.
Yeah, true. You jumped in. Unknown. That's Abu Mujahid. Okay. So let's see if I can share my screen. Here we go. Can you see that?
1 second. Yeah.
All right. So the farewell sermon, also known as the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's final sermon, was delivered on the 9th day of Dhul Hijjah in the Urana Valley of Mount Arafat. This was at the end of his Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam first and only Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca. After praising and thanking Allah, the final Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "O people, just as you regard this month, this day, this city as sacred, so regard the life and property of every Muslim as a sacred trust. Return the goods entrusted to you to their rightful owners. Hurt no one, so that no one may hurt you. Remember that you will indeed meet your Lord, and that He will indeed reckon your deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbidden you to take usury, that's interest, or riba. Therefore, all interest obligations shall henceforth be waived. Your capital, however, is yours to keep. You will neither inflict nor suffer any iniquity. Allah has judged that there shall be no usury, and that all interest due to Abbas shall henceforth be waived. Beware of Satan for the safety of your religion. He has lost all hope that he will ever be able to lead you astray in big things. So beware of following him in small things. O people, it is true that you have certain rights in regard to your women, but they also have rights over you. Remember that you have taken them as your wives, only under Allah's trust and with His permission. If they abide by your right, then to them belongs the right to be fed and clothed in kindness. Do treat your women well and be kind to them, for they are your partners and committed helpers. And it's your right that they do not make friends with anyone of whom you do not approve, as well as never to be unchaste or unchaste. O people, listen to me in earnest. Worship Allah. Say your 5 daily prayers. Fast during the month of Ramadan. And give from your wealth in zakat. Perform Hajj if you have the means. all mankind is from Adam and Hawa, Adam and Eve. An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab. You see that?
Yeah.
An Arab has no superiority over a non-Arab, nor does a non-Arab have any superiority over an Arab. Also, a white has no superiority over a black, nor a black any superiority over a white, except by piety and good action. Know that every Muslim is a brother to every Muslim, and that the Muslims constitute one brotherhood. Nothing shall be legitimate to a Muslim which belongs to a fellow Muslim unless it was given freely and willingly. If it's okay, I'll stop there. But look at that. That's the paragraph, I guess, which is relevant to what we're talking about.
Yeah. And being the final sermon, does that have any greater significance, being the final one, when compared to earlier sermons? So
yes, yeah. It does, because all right, which other sermon is encapsulated in this way?
Yeah.
And engraved on plaques. Which one? It's this one. This is the most famous one.
Yeah.
If you're giving advice to your children, the most important advice you would give them is the advice when you're on your deathbed, for example.
It's sort of like a closing chapter.
Yeah, you're going to summarize the most important.
Yeah.
If I'm never going to see you again and I have to advise you something, I'm going to give you the most important advice in the best way I can at that moment.
Yeah.
And so it was that important. The Prophet ﷺ talked about superiority of people. So this thing of black supremacy, white supremacy, it was all destroyed in that paragraph.
Yeah.
Completely destroyed. So this false attribution of racism to Islam is completely destroyed by this evidence. Which other religion teaches people not to have supremacy of one race over another? Can you tell me one?
No.
Which other religion says a white man has no superiority over a black man and vice versa? Now, there are different narrations of the Khutbah al-Wida'. I didn't check which one this is, so not all of them are fully authentic. Anyway, the point I'm getting at, though, is which other religion talks about racism and prohibits it?
Not that I know of.
I don't know of
I think
single one, brother.
A lot of people do attribute racism to the religion, even though it's incorrect. They do it because perhaps the history of Muslims has a lot of racism until the modern day. So people sort of superimpose the two and make the history. They equate the history to the theology, you could say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is incorrect, because then the actions of a people, it's not necessarily what they're told to do.
Yeah. Just a quick read of the comments. Rashma Akhtar's Stalker says, reactionary, have you seen Rashma Akhtar? No, should I have? Avi Sheckelstein says, reactionary, I think the translation of the last sermon was changed in 1992 and distributed. It doesn't say black or white, it says foreigners. Ajami. Okay, I'll have to look at the Arabic. Okay.
But Ajami means non-Arab, doesn't it?
Non-Arab, yeah.
So it would be comparing the Arabs to the non-Arabs. That doesn't have anything to do with white or black. Separate. So, I don't know. Where would this be found in a primary source? Would it be Hadith collection?
Yeah.
So reaction, I was busy with my mom, but I did have a question, and a question that was asked. Nope, I have nothing to do with any channel, even this Walid Isaac says my nephew's name that I'm using currently. But was I gonna say any other channel? Nope.
Sorry?
Now, regarding the question that you was asking me, the comment somebody made, I was saying...
Somebody asked if you're Ark Sacco.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Not only that, regarding slavery, as we're talking about it, no actually any way of life than Islam came to do away with slavery. And you have to remember at that time, the Arabs, majority of the Arabs, that was their custom, their way of life. And Islam came to tackle that problem step by step, like they said. When a baby is born, they don't know how to talk, how to walk, let alone how to crawl. Everything is in time. And Islam came to do away with slavery time by time, because time was going by.
Sorry, Walid, what did you just say?
No, I was saying regarding the Christianity claim how Islam is racist and all of that, or to do with slavery. Islam is against racism. And when it comes to black, we're talking about slavery, I'm sure. If anything, only Islam came to do away with slavery, but obviously couldn't tackle the problem, everything at one time. We know you cannot basically get rid of problem all at once. So through stages, Islam was actually taking away slavery. Such as, for instance, if somebody committed a sin or whatever, the expiation for sin was to free a slave. If was I gonna say any slave became Muslim, you have to free them. So if anything, Islam came to tackle that problem. And if it wasn't for Islam, Christianity would probably have a slave until now. Christianity actually does worse to slave than Islam does. It takes away their name, their family name. Islam never take away nobody's family name.
Yeah, there are many channels in Islam for freeing slavery. There's many things that people will fall into that the natural result or outcome is to free a slave. So it's encouraged. Islam didn't, although it didn't ban slavery outright, it encouraged its reduction. I don't know of any other religion that did that.
You know, when we talk about slavery from the Islamic point of view, can we equate it to what we are taught of slavery in the West, as in the transatlantic slave trade? Are they the same thing, or should a different word be used? Or
that's an interesting point, because when the issue here is the word being used, and what it means it doesn't necessarily mean the same thing. Likewise with congregation, when we're talking about the prayer, so. Yeah, I agree with you. Maybe a different word should be used, because when we think of racism in the UK, we think of the transatlantic slavery industry and what happened there.
Yeah, because certain words they come with certain connotations, and when you use that word, you think of certain things, and you think of people being put onto ships and chained at their necks, and in single file and working on plantations. And that's what we think of slavery, because the most recent popular slavery that happened was the slave of West Africans. But is that the same thing that happened that the Arabs did in their various empires? Like, have you heard of I think it was the Zanj Rebellion?
No, I don't know. What is that?
I think that was I might be incorrect, so I really shouldn't be quoting it, but I think there were a population of slaves in the Abbasid Empire, and they had a rebellion. But it's not about the rebellion itself; it's about having slaves. But
let's have a look at this, right? I just searched for treatment of slaves in Islam. This website came up called answeringchristianity.com. It says...
it's probably not the best website.
No?
I don't know. You should look at more authoritative
I've never seen it.
Yeah, same.
But they're talking about Sahih Muslim here.
Okay.
When I was beating my servant, I heard a voice behind me. Abu Mas'ud, bear in mind, Allah has more dominance over you than you have upon him. I turned and found him to be Allah's messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I said, Allah's messenger. I set him free for the sake of Allah. Thereupon he said, had you not done that, the gates of hell would have opened for you. or the fire would have burnt you. Anyway, I don't want to go into this too deep. But yeah, so somebody's joined.
Yeah, do you want to change the topic?
Yeah, if you like.
I saw somebody. I'm not going to give any names, but on the live chat of Big Odds live stream earlier. To be honest, I wasn't really listening to the stream. I was busy at the time, but I saw somebody comment about they were referring to the UK, the British people, and they said, "quote These men ain't got no culture, except for disrespecting people and not bathing. Our religion promotes honoring people and respecting people. Alhamdulillah for Islam." Now, the main thing that I wanted to focus on was no culture. And I find a lot of Muslim people say that people in this country, or the West generally, has no culture. And I think this statement is very inaccurate, but a lot of people still, they kind of spout this rhetoric. What are your thoughts?
I think I agree with you. It's a nonsense. Every place, every people have some sort of culture, right?
Like
it's
a
nonsense. And to just disregard, go on.
I mean, sorry, but like the West, you know, the automobile, the car was made in the West. The internet was made in the West. A lot of modern medicine was made in the West.
Mr. Abdi says they adopted other cultures. Go on, so continue.
Yeah, so like the car was founded in the West, so was the internet, and a lot of modern medicine. Yeah. And I would argue that that's part of culture. I mean, they're not the only people to do it, but in the last century, they've unarguably contributed the most. Would you agree?
Mr. Abdi's comment is something I profoundly disagree with, right? Where he's saying that they've adopted other... So there was no European culture. Is that what you're talking about? You're talking about Europeans. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, well, I think it's specifically British, but I think a lot of people say the same thing for Europeans or the West as a whole.
Well, Britain is a sort of melting pot of different cultures because it's an island, right? And each culture has, I guess, 100 years of tradition. And everybody's got good and bad in their cultures.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good in the English culture, if we go back. You know, like if you look at Scottish and Irish, they've got kilts they wear. Some people say the kilts come from the Middle East, from the Knights Templar originally. But anyway, that's...
Well, the Knights Templar are European, who went to the Middle East.
No, the Knights Templar they used to guard Jerusalem for the pilgrims that would come. And then they were banished, and they went all the way to Scotland. So
were they from Europe under the order of the Pope?
As far as I know, no.
I don't know much about to be honest, so I shouldn't be disputing it.
I may be wrong, but anyway, we can come back to that.
Yeah, and I've actually had one Scottish guy regarding the kilts. They were saying they got the idea from Somalia. I don't know, though. I'm just expressing it.
But you know that red and white design in the Saudi scarf was designed by the British.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's a tablecloth.
That's all it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's sort of like the jam thing as well. You know, the lid of the jam.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I don't mind it. It looks alright, but that's the origin. I think they wanted to identify different tribes of people in Arabia. I think this was the time of what's that guy's name? There's something of Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah.
Around that time, and they came up with that pattern for the Saudi for the Gulf people, I think.
Yeah, if you look at police officers in India or in the Caribbean or in Pakistan, how do they dress? They wear British Army barracks uniform.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, they do the salute as well, like British in Pakistan and India. The army
Where is
salute.
So Mr. Abdi calls that colonization. Okay, so what was your culture before colonization then? I guess you see culture during weddings. People wear sort of traditional clothing there, don't they? But you can't just dismiss Western European culture as being something that doesn't exist.
So how would we explain the
Look
Renaissance?
at German. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there was a lot of innovation at the time, and I think some of them did inherit it from the Arabs, because the Arabs were starting to decline at the time. But the Arabs themselves inherited a lot of their knowledge from the Greeks. So it's not like one people founded everything from nothing. It's sort of like they're passing over from civilization to civilization. I think we should appreciate everyone's contribution to history. And
also, does culture stay static over time?
That's true.
No, it's constantly changing. Culture is a reflection of the people in a particular place, in a particular time. So our culture today in London, for example, it might be different to the culture of London 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Hold on 1 second. Avi Sheckelstein says, reactionary, my bro, you know I'm the most sincere troll, fam. Yesterday, I will get reward from the Lord if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, nice one. Good work. If anything happens, then you'll get a gift, inshallah. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so...
So I've got a question then. So,
yeah.
In terms of industry, why is it that a lot of Muslim countries are sort of at a standstill? There's not a lot of innovation coming out of many Muslim countries.
Yo, guys, man, what's up?
Abu Mujahid.
They're boring.
You can answer. Abu Mujahid, you got an answer for JK?
Well, what's his question?
You say it's bare boring, and you don't know what we're talking about.
No, I'm just not really. Sorry, JK. What's your question, fam?
Yeah, so we were just discussing like Western culture and innovation and so on and so forth. But my most recent question was, why?
Bro, man, listen, we're online, bro. This is not an essay, man.
No. What do you mean? I can't speak. I can't speak a lot of slang.
You're trying too hard, bro.
No,
Who you talking to? You're talking to JK?
Yeah, man.
You know, if Abu Mujahid wasn't such a staunch Muslim, I think he drinks.
Astaghfirullah, bro.
Sometimes you come on here like in a real, not drunken state, but almost.
What are you talking about, man? Yo, go on, carry on, JK.
Let's change the topic.
JK, ask me what were you saying, bro? Because I think
it's all right.
Yeah, you're saying what Muslim countries doing, and that's a fair question. Why has the so-called Muslim world stagnated? What's happened there?
Yeah, I've had my brother's question, and the answer, I think, to me anyway, is simple, because majority of Muslims left Islam and followed the dunya. When you follow the dunya, you follow a man-made BS, and obviously the West lead us on that. So we follow in the dunya, therefore that equals we follow in the West. In other words, they're leading us.
Nikki Travis said it's because innovation isn't allowed in Islam. Yeah, all right, nice joke. But obviously, there's a difference between innovation in the religion and innovation in the dunya things. As for the dunya, it's perfectly allowed to innovate. I'll give you an example of something that happened when Norway first discovered oil. Okay, they're one of the biggest oil producers in the world, one of the wealthiest oil producing nations, shall we say? Do you know what they invested in first and foremost? Oh, obviously, I don't expect you to know the answer, but the first thing they invested in was nurseries. Right? They just discovered oil, like loads of money. And the first thing they invested in was nurseries. Do you know why? Anybody there? Everyone's falling asleep now. All right.
Yeah, man.
So the first thing they invested in was nurseries because they wanted to develop their population to be able to run these oil fields and be the people who run their own economy. When Saudis first discovered oil, They said they wanted to develop their country as quickly as possible into a sort of world-class country. And so the way you could do that as quickly as possible was to bring in labor from outside. So instead of building up their nation, what they did is buy labor from outside, go shopping, in other words. Whereas in Norway, what they did was invest in their country, invest in their people. And so they're pretty much self-reliant in terms of their oil industry. So you see the difference?
Yeah.
It's a mindset. It's short-term gain versus long-term gain. Self-pride versus... Yeah, also look at a dunya outlook versus a sort of more underlying social outlook.
It's kind of weird because one group is Muslim and the others are not.
Yeah. Yeah, one group is applying Muslim principles and the other is not.
But then again, that's, the difference between Arab culture by itself.
So is it fair to say then that the Norwegians, they're non-Muslims, right?
Yeah.
But the way they're followed is not necessarily bad. Can we say that everything about kuffar is bad?
I don't think so. I had to whisper that.
No, so when you hear people say, "Oh, the filthy kuffar," you can't just say something like that. You have to show respect
when people
where it's
say
due.
that.
No, it has context, man. But obviously,
Yeah,
apostates is different, man.
I would like to say, as Muslims first, we must learn how to accept responsibilities ourselves and not blame fingers on others. What I mean by this, right now we only look at the mistake of the West and we name call them, shame them, or whatever. But the biggest problems are the Muslims. I'm not gonna lie. From the time when we left the Book of Allah, from the time when we left the Quran and we left our own way of life, what do you expect them to do? They'll take advantage. So therefore, the Muslims are following the dunya and are forgetting about the akhirah, and we're becoming slaves to the West rather than slaves to Allah. And that is the biggest problem that Muslim world is facing, basically. We're just following our desires. You can say
slaves to the dunya. It just so happens that the forefront of the dunya right now is the West. Correct? Like the... So
yes, correct. So
and that fits.
There is a hadith. The West.
You know the hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said, "إذا تبايعتم بالعينة وأخذتم بالأذناب البقر ورضيتم الزرع." This isn't word for word. It's like the general meaning of the hadith. سلط الله عليكم ذلة لا ينزع عنكم حتى ترجعوا إلى دينكم. This means when you start holding on to the tails of cows, meaning you start investing all your time in producing agriculture, and you leave behind jihad, and you start getting impressed with your produce, then Allah will place a humiliation on you, which will not be removed until you return to your religion. Oh, and also when you start doing riba as well.
What do you mean by produce? Well, how should we interpret produce?
That's a good question.
What does that mean exactly? Obviously, I know what it means agriculturally, but like, how do we interpret it now?
Well, it could mean things like GDP. You start wanting to get continuous growth. We have that problem in England. We're constantly trying to grow the economy. We're obsessed with it. We don't think that we might need a period of a sort of medium tone, a sort of calm seas. We always want to be going up and up and up. But when you continuously push for up and up and up, you're going to have a crash. So,
you know a lot about economics, and so does Abu Mujahid. So, is Islam close economically speaking? Is it closer to communism or capitalism?
Neither.
Neither.
Mm-mm.
Can you explain? It just came to my mind, so I wanted to ask.
Well, both of them are built upon immorality and godlessness. So how can we be
No,
closer?
no. Just if you just look at it from a purely financial point of view, not morally or socially, just purely
Financially,
financial.
it'd have to be
Pure
capitalism because at least it encourages trade and innovation and investment and
Free
competition as
enterprise.
markets,
well.
free markets, free
Yeah, pretty
competition.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think that's a quite. I know I asked the question, but I think that's a pretty good question. I want to look into that.
But also in Islam, we have waqf and many social outlets for capitalism as well. And we're constrained in our transactions to be compliant with moral principles. For example, وَيْلٌ لِلْمُطَفِّفِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا اكْتَالُوا sorry. You know وَيْلٌ لِلْمُطَفِّفِينَ?
No.
Yep.
I've heard it. Yeah, I've heard
Can
it.
you recite it?
No.
Yeah, so woe to those who are like they shortchange people, but they expect extra for themselves or like exact measure for themselves. It's quite profound, isn't it? You know, Muslims
Yes.
are guilty of that, man.
I don't understand. Can you explain?
Yeah, it's to do with business, man. Like, for
Yeah, I don't know
example,
much about business. That's the problem.
no,
I'm not very
bro,
literal.
not just trade, bro. It's literally
Oh.
something that you'd engage in on a daily basis just by going to the shop. It's not something like you need a degree in business to understand. Isn't it reactionary?
Yeah. وَيْلٌ لِلْمُطَفِّفِينَ. So let me just find the ayah for you. 1 second. Quran Explorer. I don't want to mistranslate it. المطففين. Oh, here we go. The cheats is called ويل للمطففين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So Allah said in the Quran, woe unto the defrauders, or those that deal in fraud, or those who give less than due. Those who, when they take measure from mankind, demand it in full. But if they measure onto them, they cause them loss. Yeah? So people who, when, let's say you're going to do trade, you're going to buy, you expect full measure for what you pay for. But when someone buys from you, you want to give them less than what they paid for. And there's various ways people do that. So Allah has put strict regulation around that. So that's your basic trade, your trade contracts.
It's even like, for example, timing it for people who work instead of trade. Timing in
services.
Yeah, services. So like when you clock in, clock out, you know, you always doing them extra minutes there, here and there. But if somebody pays you a little bit less compared to your hourly, whatever it is, you're gonna kick up a fuss. But when you're getting the extra minutes, or you're happy, whatever. This is exactly what it's talking about, man.
True.
You know what I mean? Like you can't.
Also that verse basically is currently happening around us now with the West. If you look at the strongest currency now, if you take away one Arab country, I think I can't remember which one, is mainly the Western currency. And then you go to Africa and Asia, their currency are nothing compared to the Western currency. So they're already giving themselves advantage over others. Based on currency, that is. But yet, they're the ones that will say everybody's equal. We're all equal. We're all this, we're all that. We're not equal. Let's be honest. You call yourself first world country. You call others third world country. Your passport can go anywhere in the world, borderless, and get visas wherever the Western passport as we know it. But yet, Somalian or African passport, Asian passport cannot even get into here easily. So it's this kind of situations, basically, yeah.
But there's a reason for that, though. You need, if a country is going to be overcrowded, then you're going to put restrictions and controls in place to prevent the overcrowding.
This is a good topic. This is a good
But
topic.
you don't have
Immigration.
freedom and democracy at the same time and say, yeah, we're all free, freedom and democracy. Well,
Yeah.
your passport is above others. If you're trying to say we're all equal, let's be on an equal platform, innit? Let all passport be this.
No. What makes the passport here above a Somali passport then? In what way?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. If you go a British citizen or American citizen or Australian Western passports here, you have access to the world basically as you please. While somebody in Africa now to get here, they cannot.
Yeah, wait, one sec. Why is that? Why is that?
Say, why are many people dying just to get here on the seas, everywhere? It's because they cannot come here through their passports.
Yeah, well, of course, but do you see the problem of if everybody was allowed to come here without constraint, without controls?
Well, I can see the problem at the same time, but then again, when you're talking about freedom, we're all equal and all of that, even feminism now asking for equality, why not make all passport equal?
Okay.
Why not allow the freedom of everybody to move wherever they want freely at their life, please?
So you're saying that the British passport has access to travel the world, and are you saying that the reason that is because Britain says we need freedom of movement around the world, therefore it should be free for everyone? No, are you saying they have double standards? They want it for themselves going abroad, but they don't want it for others coming to here.
Yes, and it's not only Britain, it's the West, basically. They're putting themselves above the rest. That's why they say first world country, third world country.
Yeah, but it's not, I don't agree with you on that. And I'll tell you why. Because any country that allows the UK to end, like a UK passport, say you have a UK passport, you want to travel to, I don't know, let's say Malaysia. All right. Malaysia is not going to give good terms of treatment to a British passport holder simply because they have a British passport. There's going to be some negotiation between the two countries. They'll have a treaty set up or an agreement where they have certain terms for their citizens to travel between each other's countries. It's negotiated terms. It's not just a principle-based thing where they say, we allow all people to come to our country based on free, the concept of freedom. Yeah, that's not how it works. Travel between countries and citizens of countries is based on negotiations. That's really what it comes down to. Now, if nobody's welcome in Somalia, if nobody's welcome in Somalia to the UK or to their country, it's not because people hate freedom. It's because Somalia is not in a position to negotiate freedom for their citizens to travel. And a clear example of this is the US. With President Trump, he declared a ban on travel from Muslim countries to the US. You remember that, right?
Certain Muslim countries.
No. It was an all-out ban from Muslim countries. Then certain countries are allowed to go there without any issue whatsoever. The Gulf countries, for example, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. How did that happen? It's because they negotiated with President Trump a special agreement where they were allowed special access.
So are you telling me it's based on negotiation or dictatorship? Because I don't see...
It's negotiations.
I don't see no country willing to basically be below Britain through negotiation unless it's for dictatorship.
I think it was certain countries. I don't think it was all.
Ultimately, it included the Gulf countries. The Gulf countries had to negotiate a special treatment to make them different to other Muslim countries. Yeah, it was called the Muslim ban, if you remember. It may not have been all countries because there are a lot of Muslim countries, yeah.
Yeah, it was 7 or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
San Abi says it was 13 countries.
No, I'm on it now on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It was, it doesn't say, but I remember being Iran, Yemen, Libya, maybe Lebanon as well. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But it was the Gulf countries were the Gulf countries other than Yemen were definitely all exempt from this ban.
And not at the start, no.
Weren't
they had to negotiate it. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
It was at the.
Can you not see? I mean, what did Somalian do? What did other country that was on that list do?
It's not what they did, bro.
Saudi Arabia was not on the list whatsoever.
They were on the list, bro.
Well, if they were, got taken out very quickly.
Yeah, Yeah, they made
Somalia were on the list. Yeah, Somalia were
So
banned, I think.
the point is, why hasn't Somalia taken steps to negotiate free travel for their citizens?
Because powerless, Somalia is powerless. And this is why I talk about dictatorship. When they see you're powerless, they override anything that you want to do, because why? They put themselves above you. So it's dictatorship, the negotiation, my brother.
Yeah, so powerless. And just like in any negotiation, you need some assets to bargain with, right? Now, if you don't have anything to bargain with, you're going to be in the losing end of all negotiations.
Not if you're claiming we're all equal or basically freedom.
Who's
everywhere. If
claiming
you look
that?
at the Western country now, yeah, they are. Western country
Who's
now.
claiming we're all equal?
Okay, forget the equal. What's the agenda that they're pushing into the Muslim world? The agenda that they push into the Muslim world is to follow their way of life. Now, why are they pushing this agenda into the Muslim world to follow their way of life here? It's because they're dictators. They can dictate. They rule over us. They call themselves first world country. They give themselves power above the rest.
I think you're arguing too many points at once.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up.
Obviously, I'm trying to make my point in it that it's not basically based on negotiation. It's based on dictatorship, whatever way we look at it.
Yeah, but if someone's trying to be a dictator over you, they can only be a dictator over you if they have power over you. Right?
100%.
Now, so you're going to need some power that's the same in negotiation. You need power to have an argument.
But not power over me, power over our leaders more like, is because our leaders that basically are in bed with these people.
Look, all right, so you're saying that let's look at Somalia as an example. Why didn't they negotiate better terms of travel with the United States?
Because they're not in a position to do so.
Of course they are.
Well, according to the West, they're not in a position to do so. How are they in a position when they're already considered a third world country? You tell me.
Okay, what does Somalia export?
Somalia.
Rice.
What does it produce?
At the moment, not a lot of things, but Somalia, believe you me, produce a lot of things. Basically, at the moment, we haven't reached our peak. You could say agricultural at the moment, such as...
Doesn't Somalia export fish to Ethiopia and that? I'm sure they do.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, such as fish, bananas, mangoes, I don't know about sugar, and animals, basically. Like in Saudi Arabia now, and an Arab country, Somalia, actually export a lot of livestock, such as camels, you name it.
All right. So Somalia doesn't only have to negotiate directly with the United States. They can do indirect negotiation. They can agree terms with Saudi Arabia. Like, look, we want to... sorry, let me mute my thing. There we go. We want to trade with you, Saudi Arabia, on better terms. We'll give you discount on certain things if you negotiate on our behalf with the United States to ease restrictions on our travel. Yeah, there's different ways you can do negotiation. It doesn't have to be direct. And also, yeah, if Somalia does have some sort of advantage, it has some exports, that gives it some leverage over certain countries. Maybe it can combine with a few other countries as well to negotiate.
Yeah, I hear you. When it comes to negotiation, actually, Somalia is in great position to negotiate, because if you look at Somalia, it's actually a strategical place for the West, anywhere where we're located, basically.
Shipping lanes.
All goods around the world need to cross the Indian Ocean, part of Somalia. And hence why Somalia is a problem country until now, is because the Western country realized it's a strategic place. Not only that, now the Muslims are realizing this is a strategic place, all want to build basically their army base in Somalia. So therefore, yes, we could negotiate, but I'm saying, is it really in Somali people's best interest to negotiate with the enemy? That is a question for me.
Yeah. Well, is it
I like the term Bush used on that one. You don't negotiate with terrorists, and for me, the West are the terrorists.
Okay. So, you have to take things one point at a time in these topics. Yeah, let me not answer anymore. I think from my perspective is you want to negotiate, right? If your leaders are not negotiating for you, why aren't they negotiating for you? It may be, as you said, that they're puppets or dictators placed there for a particular reason. If that's the case, then whose responsibility is it to take care of and replace them?
Actually, I was gonna say the recent leaders of Somalia, they're actually educated in the West, so you can tell where they got their backing from. And few of them came from America. I'll say this one, I don't know where he came from. Farmajo, some are saying somewhere in Europe, but either way, the last couple of the leaders that we had basically was not even based on election. It was chosen. Who chose it? I wonder. It could have been them American themselves, Westerners who chose them to and back them with money. As we know in Africa, majority of these votes are won by money. You see it. So the West actually put themselves in a stronger position to overtake even Somalia now for their ideology than ever before. I'll give you an example here. Few years back, 10 years back, you'd have never seen American dollar in Somalia basically being the main currency. But now, since digital money came over, Somalia is actually using dollars. You can easily send money to one another in Somalia using dollars through mobile phone. So therefore, already the Somalian economy lost. They're already slave from time where the dollar is running your country. You're slave to the dollar. You see, you ain't even got your own currency. The Somalian money is basically become rubbish. Nobody even wants to use the Somalian money.
Yeah, because what can you buy with Somalian money?
Well, that's what I mean. You can't buy nothing, but it's showing.
The only point of having Somalian money is if
actually haven't got the best interest of Somali people. They got the best interest of those that educated them, put money in their pockets, and possibly told them go to your country, try run for presidency, and we'll back you financially. And that's what they did, and hence why Somalia right now is not a safe place.
What the only purpose for Somali money is if somebody from outside wants to buy something from Somalia, they'll need to buy it in the Somali currency. That's the only reason you would need Somali money. Now, if you're an exporter in Somalia, you're making, let's say, $10 million a year. What you get, not dollars, 10 million Somali, let's call it Somali krona. If you make 10 million Somali, what's it called?
Shillings.
Shillings.
Really?
Yeah, Somali shilling.
What can you, now you've got 10 million Somali shillings in your Somali bank account. What are you going to do with that money? You
can't hardly do nothing with it.
It only becomes valuable to you if you can buy stuff from outside. To buy stuff from outside, you have to convert that currency from shillings into the foreign currency. Now, it just so happens one of the most recognized currencies in the world is the US dollar. You can buy anything you want in US dollars. So that's, I guess, going to be the reason people want to use dollars.
No, that's not the reason. The reason is the presidents actually push for it to be used. That's the way I can take. Not only that, let me tell you something. Way before, do you know actually Western countries used to envy how the Somali banks or Somali people are still basically not bankrupt based on shillings. They couldn't believe how the shillings basically was lasting for so long. You can do your research now, it's still in Google. You can search all of that, you find it, yeah? They were jealous of the shilling and how the shilling is still working in Somalia and that Somali shilling did not collapse. So what's the best way to make Somali shilling collapse? Introduce the dollars to be used in Somalia.
Okay, so is the shilling still in use?
The shilling is used, but is used as a second currency rather than being first currency in its own native country.
When the government pays employees, what currency do they pay them in?
Right now, I'll say the dollars because you send it through the phone. You cannot send shillings through the phone. That's what I'm saying. So therefore, now electronic money is running Somalia, which is the dollar.
Okay. All right. So basically, the country has no currency of its own.
You could say that, yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
Anyway, I'm going to be back. I'm going to mute my thing. I've got something to do. I'll be back.
Yeah, no problem, Walid. All right. So interesting discussions going on in the chat. We've got
yeah, I think Jordan and Sana B are having a disagreement about the Trump Muslim ban.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Jordan is arguing. I think he's arguing that it's purely political, and it's not about their religion or their religious views. And Sana says that it's about their prejudice against Muslims. Yeah.
I think what the ban was certain countries that was affiliated with terrorism was banned. One of the countries was Iraq, and then it was removed, as obviously they have, as you know, the Americans and the Iraqis government do speak to each other. They do have diplomacy together. So in a way, they was taken off. So it was the countries that was associated with that, and I think Iran was one of those countries that was in the list, and is on the list. So I don't know if I'm wrong. Maybe you could correct me, but I think that was it for the ban. But I don't know if I'm wrong. But yeah.
Who are the leaders of Iraq now?
Say that again.
Who are the leaders of Iraq right now? Is it still Maliki?
Majority is the Shia.
No, I mean specifically, like who's the president?
He's the prime minister.
Prime Minister.
Yeah, he's the prime minister. Yeah,
Right,
he's still the prime minister.
Because I remember Nouri al-Maliki was
yes.
He was there when George Bush was in power, but I don't know now. It's
you mean he was in the Iraqi government at the time when George Bush was in power?
No, he was the prime minister. He was the leader when back then. But at the moment, it says Adil Abdul Mahdi.
What, the president?
The prime minister he's called. Yeah, the prime minister of Iraq. That's him right at the moment. I've never heard of him before, to be honest.
I don't know. Maybe they've changed him. I've not really heard of him as
I
well.
thought a woman was running.
As prime minister? No, it's never been a woman. Yeah. Yeah. So was I correct or was I wrong about the ban? Was that, I think, what Bush really wanted? But anyway, maybe I could. Sorry, Trump, yeah.
I don't know, because the way the media portrayed it, they made it look like a Muslim ban, and they placed more stress on the people's religion rather than the political motivations of America with certain countries.
I don't know. Maybe you could get the countries up on your screens. Which countries they have been? Which one was banned? But yeah, Iraq was placed on there, and then it was removed afterwards. But yeah, I think Yemen is still on that. Do you remember when that woman was wanted to go see her kid in America? He was dying, and I think that was exemption.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Things cut out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. I'm still here.
Yeah, so the 7 countries are Iran, Libya, North Korea, Somalia. Syria, Venezuela, and Yemen.
Venezuela? I didn't know Venezuela was also on the list.
Yeah. So 2 of the countries were not Muslim countries.
Which countries? Venezuela and who?
Venezuela.
And North Korea.
North Korea.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think people could leave if they wanted
do you know what it was? They added that because everyone thought it was a Muslim, because the other list was all Muslim countries. Venezuela and North Korea wasn't on the list.
But also during Trump's election campaign, he did say he wants to put an all-out ban on all Muslims. coming to America. Do you remember when he said that?
Yeah, I remember.
So that's
but
probably why they
afterwards,
said.
afterwards, obviously, you know, his political elite, they must have like obviously had word with him and stuff like that. They said you can't do that. You know, we've got Saudis that want to come here, you know, billionaires or whatever. Not you can't stop them from coming in. They're Muslim or whatever. Do you understand? It was kind of weird, but what it is to his followers, they were a bit. Obviously, their IQ is a bit low, isn't it? So they just thought, okay, yeah, they just jumped on that, you know, train, the Trump train, and they thought, yeah, they were going to get banned, but obviously they didn't.
Yeah,
so, but this is what I'm trying to say. They
something,
added these countries on because it was seemed as it was a Muslim ban in a way. But yeah.
You know, Mr. Abdi said something very important in the chat. He said Trump said those things to get votes because he was appealing to a certain demographic of America, even though he necessarily won't agree with them. He was trying to get the right wing, conservative Christians.
Yeah, he's right. It was for the votes. It was for the votes.
And when it was you know, that Charlottesville attack, when that happened, Trump didn't denounce it straight away because he knew the people that carried out those attacks were his supporters. So he couldn't let them down. I think later he was forced to, but he knows who his crowd are. So he has to, you know, perform for them.
But one thing you have to give Trump is that he follows through on his election promises.
Does he? Like what?
Hasn't he? Yeah. So this is something he promised his electorate, and
yeah, exactly. Does he? Not really. Not everything. Not all.
The wall. The wall is not there.
Yeah, exactly.
He's trying to get it there.
He's never going to get that.
He's trying his best. There's a lot of opposition.
He said he's going to make Mexico.
So how long has he got back in his office? He's got 2 years, right?
Yeah.
He's got 2 years left, and within that time, he's never going to get that bill passed or whatever. Not.
And he said he's going to make Mexico pay for it.
Mexico pay for it, and they've said we're never going to pay for it. So how is that going to work?
If he wants to make them pay for it, he'll find a way to make them pay for it.
Of course,
it might be direct, it might be indirect.
Of course, through trade. Because what it was tit for tat. You know what it happens? It was like basically, you know, like a toll charge. When you go into America from Mexico, like certain businesses had to pay that. Like how you have the congestion charge. So it was a bit like that. So what Mexico did, they did the same. But I think their tariff was a bit more higher. So it was a bit tit for tat. I was watching the news and stuff like that on that, but recently I've not been keeping up to date with that. But it was like a trade war in a way between Mexico and United States. I don't know if it's still going on or.
Do you agree with this? Sorry,
carry on. Go on.
Yeah. Do you agree with this that voting for Trump doesn't make you racist, but every racist voted for Trump?
Same thing with Brexit. Is not everyone that votes for Brexit is a racist. I think is that the comment you said? So not everyone voting for Trump doesn't make you racist, but everyone that voted for him is a racist. Is that what you said?
No. Voting for Trump doesn't make you racist, but every racist voted for Trump.
Who knows?
But we have to be a bit more specific. Every white racist voted for Trump, not necessarily because you can have black racists, and they probably didn't vote for Trump. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm just finding a page. So
I followed that elections really closely back then, but I've forgotten what happened. To be honest, I watched all the debates and everything live.
So here are some of the campaign promises from President Trump. 76, apparently. First, build a wall along the southern border.
Wow, did you say 76?
76 campaign promises, yeah. 76 of his many promises. I don't know if you can see my screen. I'm trying to share it. So build a wall. Make Mexico pay for the wall. If I become president, we're all going to be saying Merry Christmas again.
Wait, I want to get this up on mine as well because I can't see it very well. Trump's promises.
I'll see the link. And here is the link to the Hangout.
Thanks. To the page, you mean?
Okay. Where's the page gone? Here it is. Yep. So number 3. Yeah. If I become president, we're going to sing Merry Christmas again. That's because they say Happy Holidays, don't they?
Yeah. Merry Christmas has been owned by the Conservatives now, even in the UK.
Now, are they saying that again in the US? Are they starting to say Merry Christmas again? What's happened with that? I don't know how he's. There should be a link where see if you can find a page that shows which one of these promises has been realized.
What's fulfilled?
Yeah. Get rid of Common Core. What's Common Core? Trump says he wants to give local school districts. So that's something we don't know about. The Environmental Protection Agency might also disappear. Oh, interesting. I don't know what happened to that. Well, they have got a government shutdown, so that might result in them disappearing. Replace Obamacare with something terrific. He did get rid of Obamacare, didn't he?
What is wrong? What is Obamacare? Is it like an NHS thing?
That was the idea, something like the NHS. Yeah, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, I found a link. Can I
Yep.
It says Trump's campaign promises, has he delivered on them? And it's got like a checker or mark.
Share the link and I'll share.
Yeah.
Or if it's on your screen, I can show it.
I'll put it in the chat. It's you should be able to get it. Yeah. So it says whether it's pending, partially delivered, or delivered, so on and so forth.
The BBC one. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, Jordan is going full right wing. He says, if England bordered Mexico, I would want a wall. Bloody hell, mate.
Trump's campaign promises, has he delivered on them? Okay, let's see. Tax cuts, delivered. All right. Paris climate deal. As candidate, Trump derided climate change as a hoax concocted by China, and the regulations of Paris are stifling to American growth.
I wrote about this about 2 years ago, and I was really against it. I'm really pro the climate accord.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So he got out of that Paris agreement?
I don't know why, man.
I actually admire Trump's honesty, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Sticks
did
to his
deliver
word, right?
Yeah, he did deliver a lot of things that he promised his people, though.
I think Obama was that bad. It makes Trump look good.
No, it's not that. I actually think what's making him look good is basically it's kind of the very least we can say is trying to deliver what he promised his people, innit? And as much as I may dislike the guy, I admire his honesty, innit? He's at least honest. He shows you that he views Muslim as his enemy, and he's showing it. He's telling his people he's going to do X, Y, Z, and he's trying to do X, Y, Z. Not many can be said of majority of the leaders. And talking about Obama was the greatest deceiver anyway. He was meant to deceive the Muslim and the blacks alike, thinking that, yeah, this guy is going to save them. I mean, how many Africans voted for Obama? But yet, things got actually worse under Obama for black people than even Trump, I'll say.
Okay. I'm looking for judges, and I've actually picked 20 of them. They'll respect the Second Amendment and what it stands for and what it represents. Okay. So did they say he delivered on that? I'm not going to read all of that. I'll just take their word for it. Bombing IS, delivered. Okay. And he's stopped doing that now, hasn't he? He said they've been defeated. So bringing the troops home, partially delivered. He tried to bring them home, but he's faced opposition. Trade deals. Ban on Muslims. Before, Mr. Trump initially promised to ban all Muslims entering the US. A total and complete shutdown should remain until the US authorities can figure out what's going on. Then he switched to extreme vetting. As president, he introduced 2 travel bans, which become ensnarled in the courts. They mean became. But the third had more luck. The US Supreme Court ruled President Trump's ban on 6 mainly Muslim countries can go into full effect, pending legal challenges. Cuba. He would reverse the deal President Obama struck to reopen diplomatic relations and improve trade with Cuba. Obamacare. Okay. Moving the Israel embassy. Mr. Trump pledged during the campaign to move the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, a divided city which both Israelis and Palestinians claim. Funny way of describing Jerusalem. Okay. In December, he said he formally recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital and approved moving the US embassy. It opened in May 2018 to coincide. Yeah, so he opened the embassy in Jerusalem. Yes, you might not like it, but he's delivered on what he promised. A border wall paid for by Mexico. He's trying to get that done. Deporting all illegal immigrants. What do you think of that? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Man, I'm conflicted, and on top of that, I don't know enough. But I think a country has the right to dictate who comes into the country and who goes out of the country. But it does get really it becomes a sticky situation when it comes to refugees and these sort of people. But I don't think a country should just let everyone in. Like, controlled immigration is a good thing, and the UK should practice it more, in my opinion. But I don't know.
There is a process for asylum. There is a process for other types of immigration, right? But that's legal, though, isn't it? That's legal immigration. It's not illegal. They're talking here about illegal immigration.
Okay,
I think the Native American will view Trump himself as an illegal foreigner anyway. Majority of Americans, we have to remember, are foreigners anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, for me, I mean, I can see, since they're trying to legitimize the stance, and given that they count themselves as the native people, even though they're not the native people. But yeah, I can see why he's going with that. But then again, the Mexican are actually more closer to the native people than Trump himself.
Is my typing really loud?
Not really loud, but I can hear you banging the keyboard. Yeah,
sorry. Right. Everyone says that I type really loud, so I'm a bit self-conscious about it.
Pitching NATO. Mr. Trump repeatedly questioned the military alliance's purpose, calling it obsolete.
Didn't he make Space Force? He made.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember that? He actually made Space Force. Like, I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, I remember that. I don't know if that was a campaign promise or if he just came up with that later.
It came through. It came through. He made a whole department out of that. I don't know if you could bring that up and show that, but yeah, he actually made a whole department. So, where have you got that on the screen? Oh, it's about Muslims.
Yeah, and also let's not forget, he actually highlighted one of the biggest problems where most of us seen, such as fake news and whatnot. Most of us knew majority of news is fake and biased anyway. But Trump took it to another level. I don't know if you remember about the fake news, but during Trump's time, according to him, majority of the news were fake news, which I agree with him on that one anyway, most of it.
Of course, the media always spins everything. Do you know what I mean, brother?
Yeah, no. You had the followers in it. You had the followers.
Yeah, bro. The space wars. I swear down, he made a department out of them. You know what I mean? You know, you got a certain department for the Air Force and, you know, for the Navy and stuff like that. He actually made a department, like, I don't know, in the Pentagon for that.
Yep.
He wants to colonize space.
They probably set a budget, but I don't know exactly what it entails. What they do? Like, was it for space? Like, did they want to go explore more, like, other planets, or what is it like about?
I think
The final frontier.
Yeah.
These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise.
Exactly. That's what they want to bring that.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
Yeah, no, I don't get that myself. Like, how many billions and trillions is spent on sending people to space rather than dealing with homelessness in their own country? And that goes for every country that send people to space. Anyway, all that money,
brother, their healthcare is upside down. You understand? It's good that we got this NHS. You know, it's if we didn't have that, a lot of people would be suffering even more. Do you understand? Over there, it's all about you have to pay for your healthcare and stuff like that. And obviously, it's a bit. I'm not even looking into that. That's just a bit. You know, I don't know what he's done over there, but everyone. I think they were talking about that in his recent speech about healthcare. They want to give it for everyone. They want to make it like sort of like an NHS sort of style. But obviously, they don't want to. You know, the rich don't want that because they're going to be taxed for that. So anyway.
Look what it says here.
Go ahead.
Why do we need
about Space Force?
The White House points to galactic threats from U.S. adversaries, or adversaries, however you want to pronounce it, particularly Russia and China.
Yeah.
Which could develop weapons to jam, blind, or destroy satellites that are crucial to communication systems.
Or EMPs or
that
something.
reminds me of HARP. Do you remember the weather control thing? HARP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that conspiracy or was that real?
I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I remember people banging on about that. I thought you would know because you're onto this
conspiracy that's thing. What I mean. He always keeps quiet about that.
About what?
Conspiracies, yeah.
Freemasons. Like, I don't know anything about Freemasons, but everyone talks about them, man. It's a popular topic.
Did you see that video I uploaded?
Yeah, what's that? Dawa, man.
I got a lot of stick for that. I made it private for a while, but I've made it public again. I decided to make it public because
did you understand my comment?
Sorry?
Did you understand my comment?
I'm not sure.
What
did you say?
I commented that they're all on steroids. Do you get it?
No, I didn't. I didn't get that. Steroids?
That means,
no.
You know, there's a fighter called Nate Diaz. And when he was asked about steroids in the UFC, he said they're all on steroids. So I use that quote to mean like they're all part of Freemasonry. Like they're all corrupt. That's the meaning. It's meant to be a bit of a.
Bro, but let's not slander other brothers. Come on, man. Let's just get on with what we're doing.
It's a joke, man. It's a joke. I don't really take it. Was it serious? I thought it was just the video.
No, it was more of a banter type video. That was what it was. However, if somebody is shaking hands and like, if you wanted to identify yourself to a Freemason, you would do it when you shake hands, right, in a certain way. Correct?
I don't understand. It could have just been a slip of the hand. No.
Who shakes hands like that? I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Let's see this. Yeah, of course, I don't know if he's a Freemason or not. Right, if he was a Freemason, would that make him a kafir?
I don't think so. Is it?
I don't know. Watch this. Look. The second handshake was no problem. The first handshake, though.
Yeah.
What is that? Who shakes hands? Do you shake hands like that?
Not me. It's a bit weird.
The guy in white, he's shaking hands properly, but the one he's shaking hands with is doing the grip. I don't know, bro. Just shake hands properly, then nobody has suspicions. Simple. That's all it is.
Maybe just reading too much into it. Nah, for me, I reckon possibly just a handshake, and it kind of look different to those that watch Freemasonic and how they do the handshake and whatnot. After all,
a Freemason watching that is going to say, "Oh, he's a brother. He's a Freemason brother. He's done the grip." Okay.
Yeah, nah. If he's doing it the way they do it, I mean, if it's proper the way they do it, on his behalf, it could be just one of those, probably a mistake, just handshake, and then it look like a grip. But yeah, for those that read into it and knows about masonry, I'm sure it will look other way. That's another great point where it says things are not always the way it seemed, isn't it? That's the way I like to approach it.
Yeah, inshallah, we'll make excuses. I just did it as a sort of banter thing. I don't believe he's a Freemason. It's funny though, if you wanted to be a conspiracy theorist, you could really delve into this. You could say, well, him and Ali Dawah, they used to be a pair, a team, and they're both doing this grip. and they both split off into separate camps. Yeah, they're infiltrating the Muslims and leading. Anyway, ignore me. I'm just chatting rubbish.
Do you think that what is Masonry though?
It's
like a fraternity.
It's a fraternity, yeah. They call themselves brothers, and
but can't like a group of men just make a fraternity, and if they're very influential,
ask Waleed about that. Ask Waleed. Waleed.
Yeah.
Can we be? Can what does Islam say about brotherhood? Yeah, what does Islam say about brotherhood?
We have that already. I mean, the Ummah is one body, it's part of brotherhood and sisterhood, innit? Like saying, if one part of the body feels any pain or suffers, the rest part of the body feels the pain. So that's brotherhood and sisterhood for me. You don't need anything above that.
So are we the real Masons?
No, because Freemasonry is about brotherhood regardless of your religious background. Okay. Islam says brotherhood only belongs to believers. You can only be a brother with a believer.
Also, to be a Freemason, you have to believe in a higher deity, a supreme being. You can't be an atheist, as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But can you be a brother with a Christian or a Jew?
In Islam or Freemasonry?
In Islam.
No. Well, no. Yeah. So.
Of course not.
Yeah, you can't. No, you can't. But
Allah said
you can't be friends with what? Sorry.
Allah said, sorry, my mind's gone blank. المؤمنون قد أفلح المؤمنون. What's the ayah we said before, Waleed?
I can't remember, my brother. I'm not good at Quran. I'm not gonna lie. That's not my strong point.
إنما المؤمنون إخوة. Verily, the believers are but brothers one to another. Okay? So you can't be brothers with someone who's not a believer.
Well, I don't know. I like to say like brothers in the dunya. I mean, after all, we do say we all came from Adam and Eve, right?
That's biologically.
You have a brother on your right, which you could take as Muslim. Brothers on your left could be non-Muslims, but either way, we all came from Adam and Eve. So you could say brothers on the left, in other words, if you want.
Raspek just went live, and he called his video "The Hypocrisy of the Pigeon."
Okay. You know who he's talking about, obviously.
The point, that's what I was gonna say. It's trying to address the point where Sia Life made, in it. And on that, I actually agree with Sia. She made a very good, valid point there.
What was that?
And I don't mainly agree with Sia, neither call her fit in her life, but on that one where regarding 9ETH and what 9ETH said, I was there on the panel. I had it loud and clear. She did say what Sia said, or Sia claimed that 9ETH said. 9ETH did say that. And if anything, me replying to her is not there. But I remember right after what she said, I don't know how long after that, what she said, I said, fuck you, 9ETH. But that was unheard or lost in a way.
And Bigger Valley was there defending it later on. I was like, how can you do that?
Oh, I wasn't there when they were defending it. If I was there, I would have got up and said it, basically. I mean, okay, she could have said out of anger because I can see she was arguing with the brother at that time. And out of anger, she could have said it. But then again, trying to deny, and so she said, El Nana and all of that, that's unexcusable.
At the same time, the brother is, you could say it's his fault. Why are you going? Imagine walking into a church and start shouting, La ilaha illallah in the church.
Yeah, no, that's something I said. It could be his fault. That's something I said. I'm not arguing about fault. That's what I said. She could have said it in self-defense or in time of anger or just slip of the tongue, whatever.
But has she apologized for it?
No, she did not. Just denying it itself shows that basically you've got a hidden agenda. And that's something I say. Why deny when you know exactly what you said? And to say, I don't speak Arabic, that's bullshit. Because you know what? I'm sure by now, majority of people had La ilaha illallah. You see it?
Yeah.
Or anybody that says, you know what? I said the N-word because I don't speak English. Nobody will believe in that. Be like, hold on a second. You see it?
Yeah.
So yeah, but what was I gonna say? There's no excuse for what she did and what not. Whatever the reasons behind it, the very least you could say, you could get up and say, no, I apologize, okay, but I said it out of anger and trying to put it into context. But you denying it, that's a no-no, isn't it? But then again, they don't surprise me, innit? Because these people's way of life here, they have a hate against Islam. They're not going to show you that. Because Nine Ether, what does she believe in? Nwambian, whatever, she's into that Dr. York way of thought or way of life and all of that. That's actually against Islam. And they view us as an enemy anyway, because they believe that black women is God, black man is God, black child is God. So therefore, obviously they're going to hate Islam for what Islam stands for.
Yeah. Fair point. Okay. Is Muslim Matters live now? Because I said I was going to go on there.
You're jumping on there.
I was just going to go live for a couple of hours until they were ready. So let me see.
All right. Okay then.
Are they live? I don't know.
I don't know.
I've seen on a comment somebody said he's live and he said to come over there. I've seen that on a comment, but I didn't want to tell you that, obviously.
Yeah, no worries.
Let me check.
I wasn't trying to stay online for long. So.
Yeah, he's live.
Okay, good stuff. All right, guys. Yeah, inshallah, just for a few minutes.
Okay.
Thanks for coming on, everyone.
Yeah, no problem, my brother. I'll also be joining. I'm just going over to see what the other lot are saying on respect, whatever. Assalamu alaikum for now.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining and watching The Reactionary Show. Thank you. I'll keep in touch. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And inshallah, I'll come back with a few more better organized videos and chats. All right. Assalamu alaikum. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك